492? The woman asked. Yes, Reyna said, embarrassed that her voice shook. She still couldn't believe this was her life, that she was about to do this. Brian and Drew were going to kill her. The woman ignored her discomfort. Right this way, 492. Her voice was flat and lifeless. It's Reyna, she told the lady curtly. She had a name. She wasn't just some number. The woman nodded minutely. Her big brown eyes stared through Reyna. She clearly didn't care what Reyna's name was. This was a job, and she was following orders. No more, no less. It was as much as Reyna had come to expect from everyone in this godforsaken place. Follow me, the woman said. Reyna sighed and did as instructed. There was no point in fighting it. She had made up her mind to go through with the Visage testing. She'd snuck away without telling her brothers and applied. She had no degree and no job. All that did was force her brothers to take extra shifts to cover her. She needed to do something to put food on the table. She couldn't stand the sight of them wasting their lives away, toiling in the factories, when she could be doing something to help their situation. No, she was here of her own free will. If poverty and near starvation could be considered part of her free will. Not that that mattered to the administrator, or likely to anyone at Visage. They didn't care who she was. She was just another subject in the system. Since Visage had unveiled its plan to employ humans as blood donors for vampires 10 years earlier, thousands had gone through testing. It had been a most fortuitous circumstance, for them, at least. Millions of people out of jobs in one fell swoop, and then, out of the gloom and doom, came a knight on a white horse to save them all. An end to the fear of what lurked in the darkness. An end to being hunted for their blood. An end to the economic struggles entirely, so long as you gave up the very thing they hunted humans for. 10 years later, and not much had really changed. The majority of people still lived below the poverty line, and now the populace was more tied to Visage than ever. But Reyna couldn't change that any more than she could quell the fear building in her stomach at the thought of becoming another mindless drone for the conglomerate. Reyna fidgeted at the sight of the big white door looming ahead. The door that sealed her fate to Visage. Can I really do this? Do I even have a choice? Unaware of, or at least unconcerned with Reyna's fear, the administrator pushed the door open. Reyna swallowed hard. She could just make out the long, stark white corridor beyond the door. Once she was through that door, there was no turning back. But if there were another choice, then she would have already found it. Visage was the only option, the absolute last option, just the way they liked it. Are you ready, 492? The woman snapped. At least there was some kind of reaction. Reyna bit back a snide retort. Yes,